Tonight's top stories. The palace assures that the planned wage hike is progressing and that a draft is being made to manifest opposition to the temporary restraining order or TRO issued against its implementation. The Energy Regulatory Commissioner ERC has ordered Meralco to return to consumers some 9 billion pesos in excess payment for electricity bills. The impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte continued today. Alex the Goat Ayala gives Pinoy fans something to cheer about yet again. Mabuhay ka, Alex! All these and more on PTV News Tonight.
Good evening. Welcome to PTV News Tonight. Today's filing of an injunction by several labor groups to lift the temporary restraining order on the implementation of the 85 peso increase in the daily minimum wage of workers in the megacity should have been lodged with the Regional Wage and Productivity Board, not the appellate court in Pasig. Still, the president and his administration are determined to see the wage hike order through and carried out in the interest of advancing worker welfare, as our Clazel Paradilla reports.
Maintenance worker Jerry removes sludge from canals and drainage systems every day. He endures a grueling job to keep his 4 children in school and provide for his family. But with the prices continuing to rise, his pay is still not enough.
Kunti po ang sahod, kaya pinadaan na lang po sa tiyaga, ganun po. Nagano po sa mga kasama, naghihiram-hiram po, pagdating ng sweldo po. Pinabayad na lang po, ganun po.
Several labor groups staged a protest outside the Pasig City Regional Trial Court. They expressed opposition to the Temporary Restraining Order or TRO, which halted the implementation of the 85 peso wage increase for workers in Metro Manila. They filed a motion seeking the dismissal of the TRO. The move came after 2 construction companies filed a petition seeking to suspend the wage order while the case.
Hindi po pwede na bawiin at agawin yung sahod na para sa mga manggagawa.
Malacanang maintained that the administration remains determined to implement the 85 peso wage hike which took effect on July 25 before it was halted by the court.
Sa ngayon po ay meron na pong ginagawa po na dokumento at pagtutol. Ang Office of the Solicitor General ay ready naman po na ipaglaban po ang wage order na naipasa po para sa ating mga manggagawa.
While the administration respects the court's decision, Malacanang believes the appeal should have first been filed before the Regional Wage Board before the case was brought to the court.
Lumalabas po kasi na ang dapat na naging remedyo ng sino man na sanang may concern dito ay nagsampa ng apila sa sa Regional Tripartite Wages and Productivity Board, no, ipa-file ito ng apila at hindi sana sa korte.
Malacanang also assured the public that studies on possible wage increases in other regions will continue.
Ang pagbibigay naman po ng tamang wage or sweldo sa ating mga manggagawa, ito naman po ay nais ng Pangulo. Kaya hanggat wala pang nagagawa na batas patungkol po dito, tuloy-tuloy po ang pagtatrabaho ng pamahalaan at ng Regional Tripartite Wages and Productivity Board para po matugunan ang pangangailangan ng ating mga kababayan.
Clazel Paradilla for The Nation.
After finalizing his proposal for a fair hike for public utility jeepney rides, DOTR Chief Secretary Giovanni Lopez is all set to put his official recommendation on the table when he meets with Executive Secretary Ralph Recto this week. Our James Thompson fills us in with more. report later on. In the meantime, power distribution giant Meralco has been instructed by the Energy Regulatory Commission, or ERC, to defray the bills of their subscribers as the result of their overcollection in monthly bill charges. The Energy Regulatory Commission has ordered them to refund roughly 9.5 billion pesos within a 6-month period to its customers, most of whom are residential subscribers. The full report from our Sheila Natividad.
Consumers can expect some relief on their electricity bills after the Energy Regulatory Commission directed Meralco to refund more than 9.5 billion pesos in overcollected charges. The largest refund rate will go to residential customers, amounting to about 58 centavos per kilowatt-hour. This means that a household consuming 200 kilowatt-hours a month can expect its electricity bill to be reduced by more than 100 pesos. The ERC also directed Meralco to complete the refund of the overcollected amount to its customers within 6 months. The refund will also appear as a separate line item on customers' monthly electricity bills.
Pinag-aralan natin yung aktual na nakolekta ng Meralco at kung ano yung revenues lang na dapat na nakolekta niya. So kinumpara ito at nakita na mas mataas yung kanyang nakolekta dahil mas malaki yung kanyang kilowatt-hour sales kaysa doon sa ginamit na kilowatt-hour sales noong itinakda ng komisyon.
The ERC said its true-up mechanism is designed to determine whether an electric distribution utility has collected only what it was authorized to charge under its approved distribution rates. In a statement, Meralco said it will comply with the ERC's directive to implement the refund over a 6-month period. The company also explained that the refund covers the difference between its actual weighted average tariff, or AWAT, and its approved distribution tariff. The term AWAT will also appear as the separate line item on customers' electricity bills once the refund begins. Meralco added that its AWAT became higher than the approved tariff due to significantly higher electricity consumption by residential customers compared with other customer classes. The company also said it was Meralco itself that filed the 2 refund applications, not applications for additional collections, in compliance with the ERC's directive.
Kaakibat naman doon sa ating direktibang ipinalabas ay yung pagsusumite ng Meralco ng kanyang monthly reportorial na para malaman natin kung magkano na ang nare-refund at kung talagang nare-refund yung kabuuang amount na 9.5 billion.
Meanwhile, the Senate Committee on Energy is set to resume its hearing on Friday on the proposal to remove system loss charges that are passed on to consumers through their monthly electricity bills. At present, 8 bills have been filed in the Senate seeking the removal of system loss charges. Sheila Natividad for The Nation.
The 12th day of Vice President Sara Duterte's impeachment trial centered on the alleged misuse of confidential funds within the Department of Education, or DepEd, during her tenure as secretary. Former State Auditor Attorney Roderick Wamil testified to significant discrepancies regarding the 37.5 million pesos allocated to the agency for each of the first 3 quarters of 2023. Wamil noted that the department failed to define specific activities for these funds, nor did they provide evidence of operations such as counterinsurgency or anti-extremism programs, lacking essential documentation like beneficiary lists or proof of results. Wamil firmly rejected the notion that any official, regardless of rank, is exempt from liquidating public funds. He stressed that under COA-DBM Joint Circular 2015-01, both DepEd and the Office of the Vice President were required to fully account for all cash advances. The trial is set to continue tomorrow, August 5, 2026, with the interjection of senator judges. Vice President Sara Duterte's trust and performance ratings saw a decline in the second quarter of 2026, according to the latest Tugon ng Masa survey conducted by Okta Research from July 4 to 11. Jem Thompson has more.
Vice President Sara Duterte's trust and performance ratings dropped based on the second quarter of 2026 Tugon ng Masa survey of Okta Research conducted this July 4 to 11. The Vice President's trust rating dropped by 8% from 55% in March 2026. Meanwhile, the Vice President's performance rating dropped by 5% from 50%. 1,200 Filipinos participated in the survey conducted by Okta Research, which shows the impact of the ongoing impeachment trial of the Vice President. This could mean the public believes in the pieces of evidence related to the ongoing impeachment process against the Vice President. According to Lanao del Sur 1st District Representative Zia Alonto Adjong, this also shows that Filipinos are focused on Duterte's impeachment trial and the public wants to know the truth based on the presented evidence. Okta Research aims to provide information based on public opinion regarding the state of society and government issues. Okta Research survey regarding the Vice President's trust and performance ratings will continue amid her impeachment trial. Thompson for The Nation.
In the meantime, Sandigan Bayan justices remain unfazed by Ombudsman Remulla's criticism regarding the bail granted to former Senator Bagong while explosive testing and kickback schemes involving high-ranking official projects. Rod Lagusad tells us more in this report.
The fact funds of the Associate Justice of the Sandigan Bayan 3rd Division following the manifestation made by Attorney Ramon Esguerra, one of former Senator Bong Revilla's lawyers, regarding Ombudsman Jesus Crispin Remulla's statement that the grant of Revilla's bail allegedly appeared to have been influenced. Revilla's malversation case stemmed from the alleged ghost flood control project in Pandig, Bulacan. Associate Justice Ronald Moreno emphasized that he was not offended, that he is not afraid, and stands by the resolution. He said this situation is nothing new to him after 2 decades in the judiciary, adding that Remulla's reaction should be simply left as it is. At present, he said he has not received any threats to his life in connection with his decision. For his part, Associate Justice Fritz Brian de los Santos, the ponente of the resolution, said he understands Remulla's reaction and was not offended by it. He said adjudication is not a popularity contest and that everyone has the right to express their opinions. For de los Santos, this is simply part of his job. Meanwhile, Sandigan Bayan 3rd Division Chairperson Associate Justice Carl Miranda emphasized that they are guided by their motto, honor, integrity, and accountability. He said they render their decisions based on the Constitution, the law, and the evidence. In his dissenting opinion, Miranda maintained that the funds were released because Revilla was allegedly the project proponent. According to Esguerra, his manifestation was made out of concern for the integrity of the court.
Kasi integrity ang pinag-uusapan natin independence ng judiciary. So whether or not affected ang court, no, it's really up to them. Sabi naman nila, sanay na kami dyan.
The prosecution expected to file a motion for reconsideration tomorrow regarding the court's decision allowing Revilla to post bail in his malversation case. Meanwhile, during the latest court appearance of former DPWH Undersecretary Roberto Bernardo, one of the state witnesses in the flood control scandal, he detailed how lawmakers would approach former DPWH Secretary Manuel Bonoan even before the National Expenditure Program was finalized. According to Bernardo, Bonoan had a lump sum fund with no specific projects yet assigned, from which he would allegedly draw allocations for lawmakers. From there, the lawmakers allegedly would coordinate with the district office to inform them about the contractor that would win the bid, while a point person would allegedly inform contractors that there is already an owner of the project. Once the contractor won the bid, it would give what was called a sahod or salary to the losing bidders, who were allegedly already aware of the arrangement. Because of this, Bernardo said the government's actual priority projects were not given priority, particularly those requiring right-of-way acquisition, which is essential for project implementation. He also claimed that almost all senators requested funding except for Senator Ping Lacson. He said those who allegedly approached him included Senator Chis Escudero, Senator Jingo Estrada, and former Senator and now Makati Mayor Nancy Binay to secure funding for projects, which he clarified that there was nothing illegal about such requests. In his testimony, Bernardo said he did not earn anything from Revilla's alleged project, which is the subject of the trial, despite having met with him several times, including an alleged meeting held at the Senate. When asked where he earned money, Bernardo said he allegedly received it because of Binay and Bonoan. Bernardo further claimed that Bonoan would usually receive 15% of the total value of a particular infrastructure project, of which 50% would allegedly go to Bonoan, while 25% would go to him and the remaining 25% to the late former DPWH Undersecretary Maria Catalina Cabral. Bonoan is scheduled to take the witness Amistad on August 12, where he is expected to be the prosecution's final witness. Rod Luced for The Nation.
The Philippine National Police, or PNP, announced that security measures are effectively maintaining order across the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, or BARM, ahead of the September 14 elections, with zero election-related incidents and calmly successful gun ban implementation. Ryan Lisigas has the report.
The Philippine National Police, or PNP, said the security measures are in place in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao ahead of the upcoming parliamentary elections. According to PNP Chief Police General Jose Melencio Naratates Jr., no election-related incidents have been recorded since the start of the election period on July 16. He said this is the result of the early implementation of security measures in BARMM, including the enforcement of the COMELEC gun ban. Related to this, more than 10 individuals have already been arrested for violating the gun ban.
So with that, we have 42 days left. So far, ini-implement na natin ang security operations. Okay? And as of now, there are no recorded election-related incident in the area of Barn. But we're able to, with that security operation and operations and other operations, we're able to arrest 12 personalities for violation of the gun ban or COMELEC gun ban.
Nearly 10,000 police personnel will be deployed on election day, with 5,000 of them coming from the Police Regional Office Bangsamoro or ProBar. The PNP also formed a special electoral board that will be activated should police personnel be needed to serve during the elections.
So far, maayos naman ang ating coordination with the COMELEC, with their guidance, as well as the other deputized agents of the COMELEC. And the Philippine National Police is on top of the situation, and of course, in coordination with the armed forces and other law enforcers.
The election will be held in Basilan, Lanao del Sur, Maguindanao del Norte, Maguindanao del Sur, Tawi-Tawi, and Cotabato City. The BARMM parliamentary elections are scheduled on September 14. Ryan Lisigas for The Nation.
In other news, incessant rains brought by Tropical Storm Luis and the southwest monsoon continue to affect the Cordillera region, prompting the suspension of classes and government work in several areas. Landslides have also forced the temporary closure of several roads, including Cannon Road, while a portion of Marcos Highway in Tuba, Benguet remains open to one-way traffic only. The local government has alternative routes in mind and urges residents to remain vigilant amid the prevailing bad weather. Meanwhile, the Department of Social Welfare and Development has prepositioned more than 91,000 family food packs and other relief items across the region to ensure immediate assistance to affected communities. Teodoran in Albay has been placed under a state of emergency after the southwest monsoon severely affected its coastal community, disrupting the livelihoods of many residents. The Department of Social Welfare and Development immediately distributed family food packs to about 6,000 affected families, while 33 barangays received 200,000 pesos each under the Bawat Barangay Makikinabang program. Residents expressed gratitude for the swift delivery of assistance, while the aid has provided much-needed relief for their daily food requirements. Meanwhile, the local government is coordinating with the Department of Agriculture to provide additional livelihood support for affected fisher folk and farmers as rehabilitation efforts continue. The Office of Civil Defense remains under blue alert status, even though Tropical Depression Luis has already weakened into a low-pressure area. According to OCD spokesperson Juni Castillo, 17 barangays have been affected by the severe weather across northern Luzon, the Bicol region, and parts of Mindanao. More than 7,000 residents have been affected by the bad weather, a figure that may still increase as the agency continues to gather data. The OCD added that only the NDRRMC Operations Center But also regional operation centers and response teams remains on high alert to monitor the effects of the low pressure area and the southwest monsoon. After finalizing its proposal for a fare hike for public utility jeepney rides, DOTR Chief Secretary Giovanni Lopez is all set to put his official recommendation on the table when he meets with Executive Secretary Ralph Recto this week. Our James Thompson fills us in with more.
The Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board or LTFRB has submitted a recommendation to Malacanang for a 20 peso per liter fuel discount for PUV drivers amid rising oil prices, alongside a submitted recommendation for a temporary implementation of a fare hike. Executive Secretary Ralph Recto, Transportation Secretary Giovanni Lopez, and the economic team of the administration are also set to discuss the requested fare increase. Meanwhile, Malacanang assured that the government is ready for the impending transport strike in relation to calls for a fare hike.
Ang nais ng pamahalaan ay pag-uusap, negosasyon, makita kung ano ang daing at kung meron mang magkakaroon ng transport rally, hindi po kasi ito ang tugon, hindi ito ang sagot sa mga ganitong klaseng issue dahil mas mahihirapan lang din po ang ating mga commuters sa gagawin ganitong klaseng aksyon. Kayo naman po ay nadidinig ng gobyerno. Kung anong po ang nais na manibela, handa naman po tumugon ang ating pamahalaan para hindi naman po mahirapan ang ating mga commuter sa araw na ito ay kanilang gagawin.
The LTFRB will invite the Department of Economy, Planning and Development or DepDev and Labor Department to discuss the requested fare increase by transport groups. According to LTFRB Chairman Vigor Mendoza II, their raised points are legitimate, especially regarding the impact of high fuel prices on their incomes. According to LTFRB Chairman Vigor, although the points presented by the transport groups during the hearing were valid and legitimate, they also need to know the side of other government agencies before issuing a final decision. In this way, the agency will have an idea about the possible impact of a fare hike and what else should be considered if it is eventually approved. According to Chairman Vigor, other agencies will help them determine the most appropriate solution while considering both the public transport sector and commuters.
Sa ngayon ay pinag-uusapan po, nakausap po natin mismo si Secretary Banoy at mayroon po siyang pakikipagpulong sa Office of the Executive Secretary para pag-usapan po ang mga detalye patungkol dito. Pero sa ngayon po ay patuloy pa rin po, extended po hanggang katapusan ng August ang 10 peso per liter fuel discount or subsidy.
For some passenger jeepney drivers, lowering the price of petroleum products is the best option. But due to its fluctuating situation in the world market, some groups want fares to be increased instead to supplement their income relative to their fuel expenses. Meanwhile, according to Commuter Edit, a possible fare hike would add to their expenses.
Itaas na lang yung discount sa gasolina.
On the other hand, motorcycle taxi rider Eduardo agrees with increasing the discount for public utility vehicles, as well as increasing fares so that those who drive every day can recover their costs.
Sana lang bumaba pa yung gasolina natin. Kasi nahihirapan kami, nagiging doble yung yung sa gasolina namin konsumo namin
The government assures that they will consider everyone's welfare and will ensure that both commuters and drivers are being considered amid the crisis in the Middle East. J.M. Thompson, for The Nation.
The Philippines and Canada are preparing for a fourth round of free trade agreement. or FTA negotiations in September. This following a very successful third round last week in Ottawa, Canada. According to DTI Undersecretary Alan Jepty, the discussions are on track, with the government aiming to conclude the pact within the year. The official added that several chapters were finalized during the latest FTA round, which focused on market access for trades and goods. Once the FTA with Canada is finalized, this will mark the Philippines' first FTA with a North American country. Bilateral trade between the two nations reached $2.15 billion in 2025, and officials are anticipating the agreement will further expand market access and encourage new investments. Proprietors or owners of micro, small, and medium businesses have a great relief program which launched in June to them settle their dues with the government. One that offers them a substantially reduced and uniform amount in their annual income taxes by way of one-time micro-taxpayer abatement arrangement. Our Gab Humilde lays out the particulars of the program in this report.
In his fifth State of the Nation address last week, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. highlighted the implementation by the Bureau of Internal Revenue or BIR of the one-time micro-taxpayer abatement program, which was launched just this June. According to BIR Commissioner Charlito Mendoza, the program aims to help taxpayers, especially micro-small businesses, to reduce the taxes they pay. Under the program, taxpayers can settle their tax obligations for the amount of 5,000 pesos per taxable year.
Hindi na lang ito simpleng proyekto ng BIR since ito ay hinighlight ni Presidente during the SONA. Ito ay programa na ng Presidente mismo. So we have to make sure na magiging successful ito.
Mendoza further stated that many taxpayers have already availed of the program, and the BIR is also visiting micro-taxpayers to inform them about the program, especially in remote areas. The BIR has also expanded tax exemption measures that are a great help to workers and taxpayers, such as removing taxes for those earning 350,000 pesos per year from the previous 250,000 pesos per annum. An estimated 15,000 pesos per year will be added to employees' annual take-home pay. The official also assured that the program will not affect the BIR's target revenue collection. Between 5.1 to 6.3 million taxpayers are expected to experience an increase in their take-home pay based on the data from the Department of Finance.
Malaking tulong sa kanila yan. At yan naman, I'm sure, iikot din yung pera. Bibili rin sila ng gamot, ng pagkain, mga groceries. So mag-generate din yan ng indirect taxes like VAT. Makakatulong din naman doon sa mga negosyo na bibilhan nila. So, may added income din na ma-generate from that. Hindi naman matutulog yung pera eh. Babalik din naman yun sa ekonomiya, iikot din siya eh. So, mag-generate din siya ng buwis.
The BIR's pursuit and filing of cases against tax evaders continues uninterrupted, along with digitalization initiatives to streamline the agency's revenue collection.
Hindi natin pinababayaan because at the end of the day, we have to collect the proper amount of taxes. We don't do that simply because we want to collect more, but also to level the playing field. Kasi napaka-unfair naman doon sa mga taxpayers natin, negosyante nagbabayad ng tama at merong iba na nagnenegosyo na hindi nagbabayad ng tamang buwis. Unfair para sa kanila yon.
Gab Humilde Villegas for The Nation.
The Philippine Sovereign Wealth Fund Manager Maharlika Investment Corporation, or MIC, is targeting a core net income of 3.3 billion pesos for the year, driven by steady dividend streams and strategic capital deployment. The MIC reported that the fund took in 1.3 billion pesos in core net income during the second quarter. Total comprehensive income reached 2.7 billion pesos due substantial fair value gains. MIC President and CEO Rafael D. Consing Jr. highlighted the fund's evolving income structure, which now includes equity earnings from Asian Terminals Incorporated, or ATI, following an 11.9% stake acquisition. The main revenue drivers of the MIC include dividend income from Petron Corporation and gains from the ATI. The Department of Energy, or DOE, is planning a dedicated green energy auction, or GA, for off-grid islands to reduce electricity costs for consumers. The initiative aims to replace expensive diesel-fired power plants currently operated by the National Power Corporation or NAPCOR with renewable energy facilities and battery energy storage systems. By transitioning to these cleaner alternatives, the DOE hopes to decrease the universal charge for missionary electrification, which is currently paid by consumers nationwide. The DOE has identified 20 target islands for this project, with the auction expected to launch next year. And coming up, fans of the iconic band Maroon 5 will definitely leap for joy over this latest development. We'll give you all the details of that when we return. Don't skip a beat.
Tulad ng aking nabanggit, dapat mataas ang kalidad, matibay at maghahatid ng pangmatagalang ginhawa sa taong bayan ang lahat ng pampublikong infrastruktura. Ngayong taon, matatapos na ang bahagi ng South Luzon Expressway TR4 mula sa Santo Tomas City, Batangas, papuntang Tiaong sa Quezon. 17,000 motorista araw-araw ang makikinabang dito. Ang mga nasirang tulay sa San Juanico sa Eastern Visayas, Cabagan, Santa Maria sa Isabela, Pigatan sa Cagayan, Calbigan at Liloan sa Samar, at Panuliran sa Iligan ay kaagad nating naayos at ngayon nagagamit na muli.
Makibahagi sa iba't ibang kwento ng mga Pilipino.
Dagdag pa napasanin ni Mang Carlo ang kanyang gamot o maintenance na halos mahigit 20,000 piso.
Lagi ako nagdadasal na sa bawat entabladong sasampahan ko, huwag niya akong pababayaan.
Makinig sa iba't ibang boses at pananaw.
Na hindi patas ang lipunan.
Leadership starts from the top.
Maging bukas sa iba't ibang perspektiba sa mga isyong pambayan.
Good governance, because good governance is a matter of right.
Tataka ang karamihan, paano nila nakukuha yung mga numbers? Kanino ba talaga nag-umpisa yung mga problema na yan sa flood control projects?
At matuto sa iba't ibang karanasan.
Yung hirap talaga yung pag tumaas ang dagat. Yun ang hirap sa mga bata.
Ito ang mga premyado at award-winning na programa ng PTV Public Affairs. Kabahagi sa bawat buhay at kwento ng Pilipino.
We will now go to disbursement vouchers, which you said were among the documents submitted by the Office of the Vice President to allegedly liquidate her confidential funds. Here in the middle, there appears a signature. Nakalagay certified expense, cash advance, necessary, lawful, and incurred under my direct supervision. Whose signature is this, if you know?
This is the signature po of the Vice President Sara Duterte.
Ano ang observations mo dito sa tatlong disbursement vouchers na to?
Hindi po napirmahan yung Box E, which is the receipt of payment portion. Ito po kasi yung patunay na na-receive kung sino man po yung pay nung cheque, yung payment.
Home is where your health journey begins.
Huwag palampasin sa advice mula sa mga eksperto. Masasarap recipe. Guided exercises to boost your fitness levels. Tips to keep our fur babies happy and healthy. At iba-ibang fun activities na perfect pang-bonding ng buong pamilya.
Ito po si Niña Corpus. Samahan niyo kami tuwing Sabado alas 7 ng umaga para sa simula ng healthier and happier lifestyle ng buong pamilya.
Health at home. Dito lang sa inyong People's Television.
difference ng AOM, Audit Observation Memorandum, yung Notice of Suspension, yung Notice of Disallowance.
Katulad po nung na-define ko kanina sa AOM, it is an written notification to the agency concerned of the deficiencies noted during the audit and requiring them to submit an explanation po or the documents being sought or both po. Yung Notice of Suspension is a written notification to the agency head and the accountant informing them of the temporary disallowance po nung disbursement sa audit because it appears that the disbursement is irregular, illegal, or improper and requiring them to submit their justifications or the documents po being sought in the AOM or both. Kapag hindi po na-comply yung Notice of Suspension, then that is the time po na mag-issue na kami ng Notice of Disallowance. Yung Notice of Disallowance ay yung written notification to the agency head or the accountant informing them of disallowance nung disbursement and requiring them to restitute the amount po nung disbursement because yung disbursement ay illegal, improper, or irregular. Kapag sa AOM po tsaka Notice of Suspension, yes, binibigyan po silang ng opportunity para mag-comply. Pero kapag ND na po kasi, pag Notice of Disallowance, ang tanging remedy na lang nila is to settle the amount or to appeal.
Former State Auditor Attorney Roderick Wamil returned to the Senate Impeachment Court today and testified that the Department of Education or DepEd under then Secretary Vice President Sara Duterte failed to specify confidential activities and submit necessary supporting documentation for the utilization of 37.5 million peso confidential funds in 2023. Marco Sadi details more on today's proceedings in this report.
The Department of Education or DepEd received 37.5 million pesos in confidential funds each quarter from the first to the third quarter of 2023. These funds were covered by fiscal and financial plans signed by Vice President Sara Duterte during her tenure as DepEd Secretary.
Mr. Witness, these documents that you're seeing now, there is an annotation approved by. What does approved by mean?
Ang ibig sabihin po ng approve by ay inapprove po nung signatory dito sa box na ito yung contents of the fiscal and financial plan.
And this is in all three documents?
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay. There appears to be a signature in these three documents. Whose signature is this?
Signature po ni Vice President Sara Duterte po.
Although DepEd submitted a fiscal and financial plan for the first quarter of 2023, former COEG-FAO State Auditor Attorney Roderick Wamil noted deficiencies in the document.
Doon sa kanilang fiscal and financial plan for the first quarter, hindi po naka-indicate yung kanilang specific confidential activities na pagbabasehan po ng kanilang disbursement from the confidential fund.
He testified that he observed the same issue in DepEd's fiscal and financial plans for the second and third quarters of 2023, saying that the confidential activities identified in the plans were not specific. Among the programs funded was the Counterinsurgency Program, which received 9.3 million pesos in the first quarter, 9.3 million pesos in the second quarter, and 9.2 million pesos in the third quarter.
Did the DepEd submit any evidence on this or documents?
Based on their submissions po, wala po silang sinubmit na document. Based on this document po for the counterinsurgency program, ang expected outcome po ay to prevent any recruitment by the NPA and other communist and leftist groups towards teachers and students.
However, according to Wamil, DepEd failed to submit a list of the NPA, communist, or leftist groups targeted by the program. He also said that no list of teachers and students covered by the program was submitted. Aside from the counterinsurgency program, confidential funds were also allocated to the Abuse Prevention and Control Within Schools program, anti-illegal activity operations, and the anti-extremist and terrorism program. Wamil testified that DepEd likewise failed to submit the required supporting documents for all of these programs. During the cross-examination, Defense Counsel presented a Special Allotment Release Order or SARO issued by the Department of Budget and Management or DBM, showing that the Office of the Vice President or OVP also had confidential funds in 2014. Wamil confirmed the document despite his earlier testimony that Vice President Duterte was the only Vice President whose confidential funds were audited while he's serving at the COA Igfao. During the redirect examination, the private prosecutor asked Wamil whether the OVP would be exempt from its obligation to liquidate confidential funds if the funds were granted by the Office of the President. Wamil responded,
Meron po.
Ang grant ba ng confidential funds ng isang presidente to a vice president, this president in particular, to the vice president, does it exempt the vice president for accounting for the use of that confidential funds under your joint circular?
No po. Ang confidential fund po ay public fund, so kailangan pong ma-properly account.
Wamil is set to return to the witness stand tomorrow for the interpellation of the senator judges. Marco Sadi for The Nation.
In the meantime, Diet lawmaker Honorable Fujita Fumitake, co-representative of Japan's innovative party, paid a courtesy call on the president earlier today as part of his nation's efforts to deepen Philippine-Japan strategic ties on the occasion of the 70th anniversary of diplomatic ties between both nations. For his part, President Marcos Jr. reiterated the need for a reinforced partnership with Japan for mutual economic development and broader cooperation on various sectors, especially on security and defense. Japan was the country's second biggest trading partner last year, with receipts hitting $22.2 billion and $743.47 million in foreign direct investments into the country. The just concluded Multilateral Maritime Cooperative Activity, or MMCA, between the United States, Japan, and the country has reinforced the resolve of the Philippine government to uphold and advance the country's interests in its maritime territories. And China's increased deployment of naval assets near and within the country's exclusive economic zone is under strict monitoring by the Philippine Navy, Coast Guard, and AFP. Details of the AFP's latest presser earlier today in this report from our Carlo Candelaria.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines, or AFP, continues to monitor activities in the West Philippine Sea following the recently concluded 17th Multilateral Maritime Cooperative Activity, or MMCA, involving the Philippines, the United States, and Japan. The AFP also confirmed that it monitored several naval drills conducted by China's People's Liberation Army Navy, or PLA Navy, near Bajo de Masinloc. According to AFP spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea, Rear Admiral Roy Vincent Trinidad, the cooperative activity among allied nations sends a clear message.
The message to the entire world, not to any particular country, is that the Philippines is not alone in its stand of supporting international law. Our modernization program is on track. We could now plug and play with modern militaries, and that activities like this will continue in the near future.
Trinidad said there were no recorded instances of interference from the PLA Navy, the China Coast Guard, or the Chinese Maritime Militia during the MMCA, although their vessels were observed from a distance. Meanwhile, the Department of Foreign Affairs, or DFA, assured the public that the Philippines will continue to uphold and advance its interest in the West Philippine Sea.
The Philippine government is committed to protect our interests, uphold our sovereignty, sovereign rights, and jurisdiction.
In line with this, the armed forces also called on Filipinos to remain united on the issue of the West Philippine Sea. According to AFP spokesperson Colonel Francel Padilla, the issue goes beyond politics or individual differences, stressing that Filipinos should stand together in defending the country's sovereignty and sovereign rights while upholding international law. She added that the AFP will continue its efforts to raise public awareness on the matter.
So kapag Pilipino ka, no, andyan dyan ang usapin, pro-sovereignty ka, pro-sovereign rights ka, and we uphold international law. So andyan, no, it's a third-party entity saying, no, United Nations Convention of the Law of the Sea, by the arbitral win that we have, no, panghalagahan natin itong panalong ito and isulong natin ang ating soberenya, ang ating sovereign rights. Yan po ang misyon na gagampanan ng Armed Forces of the Philippines.
Carlo Candelaria for The Nation.
The government is taking steps to speed up and simplify the development of housing projects across the country. The Anti-Red Tape Authority, or ARTA, together with the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development, or DSUD, and other government agencies, has launched a joint memorandum circular number 1, series of 2026, which seeks to streamline and digitalize the processes for securing permits, licenses, clearances, and other regulatory requirements for housing developments. According to ARTA Director General Ernesto Perez, the JMC seeks to eliminate redundant requirements and make the permitting process more efficient. Perez said the reform is in line with President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s directive to accelerate the digitalization of government services. The ARTA chief also said the joint memorandum circular will complement the administration's expanded 4PH program by helping fast-track the implementation of affordable housing projects through a more streamlined and digitalized regulatory process. A murder complaint is being finalized against a 14-year-old high school student who fatally stabbed his classmate last Friday over a tip on the amount of pocket change after buying bottled water in a Las Piñas National High School. As a result of the trauma, the tragic incident visited on their fellow classmates, batchmates, and schoolmates, Las Piñas Mayor April Aguilar Neri ordered the suspension of classes school-wide this entire week. Meanwhile, this juvenile stabbing suspect is in the interim custody of the city's Bahay Pag-asa facility, awaiting developments and a murder charge to be filed against him. A self-proclaimed medicine man / fake healer from General Trias, Cavite is in police custody over alleged fake healing practices, deceiving and recruiting unsuspecting followers into a highly suspicious gun club by way of his mumbo-jumbo routine and possession of unregistered, unlicensed firearms. Our Ryan Lisigas lays out the full story.
Abay, huy! Abe! Dito ka magte-testing sa bahay?
Oo.
Oh, ano ba yan? Ano ba? Ayaw pumutok!
In front of his clients inside their home in General Trias, Cavite, this 72-year-old man who identified himself as a traditional faith healer was seen waving a firearm by firing at a pillow with a sheet of paper that he claimed he had prayed over. He attempted to convince his followers that his prayers and the anting-anting he was selling were effective. But his prayers seemed to have no effect on the police. After authorities confirmed his alleged modus operandi,
Kayo ay may karapatan ng manahimik o magsawa ng ibo. Sabihin ay pwedeng pabor o labas sa lahat ng kasakuman.
he was immediately informed of his constitutional rights and placed under arrest.
Pinagyapan po ng ating albularyo ang kanyang mga dilisensyadong baril kagaya ng caliber 357, 45 at ng 22. Yun po, based doon sa mga impormasyong nakalap natin, nag-conduct tayo ng intelligence build-up, case build-up, para po makapag-file ng search warrant doon sa kay alias Dante na isang self-proclaimed faith healer po doon sa kanilang lugar.
The operation stemmed from a complaint filed by one of the suspect's former clients. Aside from offering traditional healing services, the suspect also allegedly invited the complainant to join a group called Haring Bakal.
Parang mga grupo ng, hindi naman to isang organisasyon parang mga samahan lang na kung tawagin ni Haring Bakal, pero hindi naman sila legitimate na as grupo na nakarehistro, kagaya ng ibang mga fraternities. Parang samahan lang ng mga iba't ibang klase ng tao doon sa lugar na iyon.
The suspect also allegedly boasted that he owned several firearms which were later found to be unlicensed.
Opo ma'am, may mga katabing residente at napakadelikado nun ma'am kasi kumbaga kung halimbawang bumili sa kanya yung isang tao at naniwala na yung kanyang anting-anting ay epektibo at tinesting nung tao na bumili yung nabarilin yung sarili niya, siguradong delikado sa buhay ng isang tao yun dahil hindi naman totoo yung sinasabi niyang anting-anting.
The suspect is now under the custody of the PNP CIDG. He has been charged with violation of Republic Act number 10591 or the Comprehensive Firearms and Ammunition Regulation Act. Ryan Lisiges for The Nation.
And we'll now give you the latest buzz here at Pop Culture Corner. First up, Maroon 5 is set to return to the Philippines for a one-night concert at the SM Mall of Asia Arena on February 2, 2027 as part of its Asia tour. The Manila show was officially announced by the band with artist pre-sales starting on August 12, followed by ticket pre-sales on August 14 and general sales on August 15. Maroon 5, a three-time Grammy Award-winning band, has released 8 studio albums, including its latest record, Love Is Like. Ahead of the Philippine concert, the band is also promoting its latest single, Heroin, released earlier this year. Bratman Rock celebrated his 28th birthday with an Aloha-themed party in Hawaii, surrounded by friends and family. The Filipino-American content creator also received a special birthday surprise when Beanie sang happy birthday to him during the group's Signals concert in Honolulu. Bratman shared highlights of his celebration on social media, including a creative birthday photo shoot that drew greetings from several Filipino celebrities. Earlier this year, he was also named to Time 100's Creators of 2026, recognizing his growing influence beyond beauty content. Filipino tennis star Alex Ayala continued her historic rise after capturing the biggest title of her career at the WTA 500 Mubadala DC Open in Washington, D.C. Alex Ayala wrote another chapter in Philippine tennis history after rallying past world number 3 and top seed Jessica Pegula 4-6, 6-4, 6-0 to capture her first ever WTA Tour level and WTA 500 singles title. The championship match was suspended due to heavy rains, with Pegula leading 6-4, 2-1. But when play resumed, Ayala returned with renewed momentum, dominating the rest of the match to secure the title in front of a crowd filled with Filipino supporters. During the trophy ceremony, Ayala thanked Pegula and said she still has a lot to learn from the American star. Pegula, in return, praised Ayala's rapid improvement and commended the passion of the Filipino fans who continue to support her around the world. Ayala's championship run was far from easy. She defeated Olympic champion Zheng Qinwen, defending champion Leylah Fernandez, world number 10 Elena Svitolina, four-time Grand Slam champion Naomi Osaka, and finally, top seed Jessica Pegula to claim the crown. The victory marked Ayala's 7th win over a top 10 player this season and is expected to lift her into the WTA Top 20, the highest ranking ever achieved by a Filipina tennis player. Ayala will next compete at the WTA 1000 Canadian Open in Toronto, where she has earned a first-round bye as a seeded player.
Thank you to all my supporters, especially the Filipino community here in DC and back home and wherever you are in the world. I really, guys, I feel all the love. Maraming salamat, mga kababayan. Maraming salamat. Before the final yesterday, actually, I got so many messages, sweet messages from my family and from my friends who are on tour wherever else on the world. And, I thought to myself, I feel so much love. So standing here in the middle of all this love, my first chance at the title, knowing it won't be my last, and already having achieved this feat and this milestone for my career, I knew that whatever would have happened after this match, it would have already been a win for me. So thank you, everybody, and I really look forward to seeing you guys again.
And mabuhay ka, Alex Ayala. And our food for thought tonight comes from Mahatma Gandhi. He was the leader of India's nonviolent movement for independence. His enduring legacy of truth, peace, and moral courage continues to influence leaders and advocates for justice around the world. Anyone said? There's a higher court than courts of justice, and that is the court of conscience. It supersedes all other courts. And before we end our newscast, please take the time to like, subscribe, or share PTV social media pages flashing on your screen right now. It would go a long way and we would truly appreciate it. And so goes PTV News Tonight's roundup of tomorrow's headline stories. I'm Jay Esteban. Join us again tomorrow on PTV News Tonight.